Hermit Ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome to the Hermit's Cave. I've caught the sun. Let me pop open the chat. I won't turn my volume down. There we go. Look at my head and my arm. I've only been out for a couple of hours, but it actually looks it looks redder on the screen than it is in real life. But yeah, how is everybody? Start of a new week, holiday. I think it's a holiday in the States as well as here in the UK. I'm not sure about anywhere else in the world, but it's Spring Bank holiday, which is one of my favourite holidays. So I decided not to sit at home today, but to be outside in the sun because it is such a beautiful, beautiful day. So let's see who we've got. We've got Marina, Inked Witchy Girl, Luna, Rob, Chris, Sandra, Thought Thingy, Jamie, Caroline, and Jackie. Hello, Jackie. We have Crystal Mama, Ellie, Patrice, Lottie, Trisha, Aquarius Owl, Stray Cat, Maharet, Kim, Tech Coven, Billy, Sean, hello Sean, Christine, hello Christine. We've got Adam, hello Adam, good to see you, my friend from Wales, you see. Sophie, we've got Wiccan, Nancy, Becca. Hey up Becca, you're glowing more than before. Yeah, see, I've spoken to Adam and it's how it's coming on camera. He's actually spoken to me and see I am not this red. It's the camera, honestly. I have caught the sun, but looking at it, because I can see on my iPad, I'm like beetroot, and that's not Billy. Blimey, you've caught the sun. Reminds me of the Only Fools and Horses episode, Rodney on the sunbed. Yeah, and I used, before anybody says, I used sunblock and all that sort of stuff. So Patrice, Amanda, who else have we got? Lennon, and you look a bit red, Simon. Christine, Julia, Jen, hello Jen, and Elle, Forever Whereafter, Kyle Liz, Marina, Luna, I think I've said Luna though, Annie, and I've caught up. So I've got a beer as well because it is boiling hot today. It is 76 degrees now and we're at tea time, and it's a really hot day and these were on sale, so I put one in the freezer for an hour and I'm having a glass of beer because it's a holiday and why not? So I'm just enjoying. Do you like this? This is what my stepdad has made. You know, he makes everything. He's made my stand for all my major arcana figures. He's made things like, gosh, the pyramids for my crystals. He made all the bookcases that sit on my desk. I can't even, he made the wall hanging that have all the tarot cards, and he's made this, which is really nice. It's a lovely piece of pine, stained. You can fit 3 cards plus a few stones. Got my little moon gaze in here. But look at my card. I don't know if you can see or if it's too bright, but it's a Day of Cups, Ace of Cups, 7 of Cups, 10 of Cups. And I'm really glad it's gone from Ace to 10. I'm glad it wasn't the other way around. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting when I did my draw. Stand is gorgeous. I have chocolate orange coffee brewing. Oh, Jamie, that sounds nice. Simon, your stepdad is so talented. Do you know what? Elle says, big up Grandad Milk. Here's my daughter, Elle. I just plan to see, well, no, that sounds like I, drop hints. I don't, he always says, he gets a little bit bored. He's retired. He does gardening and odd jobs for people. But he'll say, do you need anything, anything putting together? Anything making? So I say, could you perhaps do something like this? And I'll find a picture of something online, or I'll describe what I want. And within a day or so is knocked something up. So yeah, I'm really, really chuffed with it. I think it's really good. You're in cups. I know it's an emotional day today. Cups, and I don't think I've ever done a 3-card spread where they're all from one suit of the minors and going in progression like that. So it's kind of blown my mind. It was a busy week for me today. I have a list of things to search on the web, so I'll look at it. Are you on Hermit's Cafe? Oh, I'm not sure what that's about, but I just realised I prepped the coffee, says Jen, but didn't turn the machine on. Sigh, mornings. But it's a holiday for you, isn't it? So you get to not have to go to work and just enjoy the day. Your dad is such a sweetheart. Yeah, he's really, really good and really talented. And these are the people who, aren't into tarot at all. And when he did it, he put some playing cards in there to demonstrate how it works. So, and Shane from, I don't know if you would want me to say though, but I've kind of started saying it now. I don't know if Shane's here, but Jen's here. Am I able to say what line that Shane is working on? Because I don't want to come open my big trap if it's a secret. B-Jam, hello Simon and everyone. Been out in the sun for a bit today. You've caught the sun, Simon. Yeah, it looks a lot worse on camera. My friend's in the chat and we was talking. We just had a video call, and I'm not as red. I've only been out for 2 hours, seriously 2 hours, but I'm not as red as I'm appearing. On my phone, I'm not even appearing as red as I am on there. Did someone mention Facebook group? Thanks, Elle. I think that's fine. Okay. So Shane from Wolfbound Creations, he did this gorgeous box. This is the one that's got the carving of the moon and the hair, the hair being a hermit, which I just absolutely love. And he does these fabulous bags. I've got one here. This is a double bag that you can either have the 2 decks. It's got a divider in the middle. You can either have them side by side, or they fold. So it's up to you how you have them. Really good, lovely quality. It's now got some new designs coming out, but he's just started, because I've been showing this, it's reminded me, doing some wood carved tarot card stands, and they're fab and they're custom. So he asked, because I said I'd like to buy one, and he asked me what I wanted, and I'm having a hare, so it will sit next to my tarot box for like 1 card pull, so card of the day sort of thing. So I'm really excited about that, and I've seen a bit of a prototype of one, so they're going to be going on to his site soon. So my bag is the same print. I love it. I ordered another 2 of his new design with the paneling, and they've just been, well, I think today or tomorrow, being dispatched. So yeah, I'm all glowy as well because it's the sunblock that I've had on. Look all shiny. Hi Sue. Shane's wood products will sell out quicker than his bags. I think you might be right, Jamie. Hi Elaine. I hope you've had a good day. I'm a tad late this evening. We've only just kind of started. I've just done the intros and I'm showing off my little 3-card stand that my stepdad had made for me. So yeah, and I'm having a nice cold beer because it's a bank holiday. So a few things. And then I'll talk about the theme, which is about backup decks today. I wanted to address the backup thing. You know how I love Marmite, and I'm also trying to watch what I'm eating at the minute. And I mentioned the Marmite peanut butter that I put in the Hermit's Cave the other day, which has now hit the stores. I used to get it, well, I bought one jar because it is quite high in fat from Amazon. Well, I've just discovered Marmite rice cakes, and these are less than 3% fat. So these are quite low to have as snacks if you're doing things like Slimming World. And they taste a bit like Twiglets, but they're really nice. And if you like that Marmite taste, I don't think Donna's here from Ozark Oracle. Enjoy that beer, I might partake myself. Oh, it's beautiful. On a red hot day like today, I've had it in the freezer for an hour. So it's not that nice, cold, crisp taste. I love Marmite peanut butter. Amanda, me too. But it's quite naughty, so I only have it every so often. But these, really, really nice. So I've tried them, so I thought I'd mention them. And then people have been asking about, this is the Tarot Black and Gold edition. There is a new one coming out in the fall, which is Tarot Gold and Black. So these are the ones that are black on gold cards. And the new one coming out, exactly the same box design and everything, which is really beautiful, is going to be gold on black. They're the ones that are the shiny, blingy cards. These are the backs, but they did come edged. So I've edged them. It took 2 days to edge them. And I'm just mentioning this because I said in my cup of ketchup and cards I was going to do them that evening. So I edged them in black first with black Sharpies, and people keep asking me, and I don't mind people keep asking me, but I use the Chisel Tip Professional. So that's the Sharpie Professional. They have these yellow rubber grips. Oh, it's left the inside thing on, you know, with the chisel tip. They give you that lovely vinyl record. And then you can get these fine, they're not chisel tips, so you do have to be careful. But you can get the 3 metallics, and you've got the rose gold, which is bronze or copper, silver, and then a yellow gold. So I use the yellow. I only use it the once because it doesn't last long, those ones. And applied that the next day on top. And what it gives you is like an antique aged gold effect, which really looks nice with the backs because they're gold and black. And of course the cards are black on gold. I'm really excited for the new edition coming out this year, which is gold on black. Here's our fall. So yeah, I just think it looks really nice because it gives you that aged effect, having the black underneath, and you don't have to go that full on with the gold. So a few people had asked what pens and things I use, so I thought I'd show that there. It looks a perfect match. Yeah. And the cardstock is really quite thin, but do you know what? It is really durable. I really like it. It's a lovely set. They are a little bit dear. You get a nice book, but I say that because it's low Scarabeo, a lot of it is in different languages, so you only get a little bit at the beginning, but we're very fortunate because the bits that are in English, you get the cards. So you get the image, and then you get a little write-up for each card, whereas when it goes into the other languages, you don't. So we can't grumble too much. And I love the design of the box. I think this was around £45, which is a lot. But it's a beautiful collector's piece, box and everything. The design and packaging is really, really nice. So, what brand are the 3 metallic markers? Yeah, they're Sharpies as well. I tend to use either Sharpies or Winsor & Newton Pro markers. So these are Sharpies, look. These are the Pro markers that I use, the Winsor & Newton Pro markers, because you get a pointy end and you get the chisel tip end. Really nice cards. Yeah, has anybody got it? Has anybody got the Tarot Black and Gold? Came out back end of last year. I think it's November this year that the gold black one is coming out. See if there's any comments. Nice set, lovely box, says Sandra. It is. Have you got it, Sandra? I can't remember if you've got it or not. I use Winsor & Newton, they are really good. We get a more colour range with Winsor & Newton, lots of different colour variations. You're quite limited with Sharpies. So yeah, I've had a lovely day. I got up this morning and I did some study for Tarathon. I've decided if I dedicate an hour, 2 hours a day through this week, it will build up rather than put pressure on and try and do it all at once. And if anybody's got anything in particular, because my subject on Sunday is Pixie and the RWS Tarot. So I'm going to be talking about the RWS Tarot, why it's the world's most beloved tarot and the world's most popular tarot, but then also a bit about what we might not know about the artist behind the world's most popular tarot. So if you've got any particular questions that you want me to filter in, then pop them below and I'll try. I can't make any promises, and we've only got an hour, and a part of my hour will be doing the introduction as well to the rest of Tarathon, but I'll try and answer as many questions as I can. Simon and I have the same deck. Oh wow, so Luna, you've got it. It's nice, isn't it? Sandra doesn't have it but wants to get it. You're all sunburned, says Tarapple. I am. I've caught the sun, but it looks a lot worse on camera than what it actually is. Always best to do bits a day. Yeah, less stress. And also, I want to be outside a lot this week because I've had nearly 3 months of working from home, being indoors, going out once a week, twice at the most. So I do want to spend, because we've got some nice weather planned this week, I do want to spend time going out and not just, being stuck indoors. Otherwise, why have a week off? Love the card stand. Thank you. Yeah, I was just saying my stepfather made it. So I put my little moon gazing hair on, and I've got my stone, and then some petrified wood, a couple of pieces of my petrified wood, and then a little tea light and tea light holder. So yeah. Simon, are you going to show the beautiful book on Pixie 2? Yes, because I've been doing a lot of online research, but I've also been using the book. So obviously I'll pay reference and show you some of the book. And there's different variations that you can get of that book. You don't have to buy the big £5 in weight book. Simon, I have the Tarot Black and Gold. How do you feel about the cardstock? Well, at first I thought, well, this is a bit thin, but as I was just saying, it's quite durable. It's quite nice. I've got used to it. Definitely get out as much as you can. It is, but careful edging it is as it bleeds. Oh, mine hasn't bled. I've been really, but then I don't find that Sharpies do bleed as much as some pens. I think it depends on the ink and the pen that you're using. We have bad weather forecast where I am. We're supposed to get 4 inches of rain. Oh no. My mat keeps sticking to the bottom of the... Christine says, I am ready for Tarathon. I even timed my presentation. Can't wait to watch everyone. Wow, Christine, you're on it. And thank you for your video. It was really, really good. And I saw that you'd got all your typed notes. I'm like, right, I need to knuckle down. But I'm thinking if I'm doing a bit each day, it will be fresh in my mind. So, I'll be able to, because I only use prompt cards. So I write kind of bullets on prompt cards when I do Tarathon, and I just move the prompt card so it keeps me on track. Have you seen the fiction books by Susan Wands about Pamela Coleman Smith during the time she was creating the cards? Yes, I bought the first one about 18 months ago, The Magician and Fool. And I was reading it and I was getting towards the end and I remember thinking, we're only just getting to the point where she's going to create the deck. And then when it got to the end, it said the next book will be called The Empress and High Priestess, or The Priestess and Empress. And I keep checking because obviously she's got to write the book, but has it come out yet? Because I really enjoyed it. It's a fictional account. I don't want to use that book as reference because it is a fiction story about her, you know, and there's things like where Aleister Crowley transforms into Satan, you know, and I don't want to be quoting things like that, but it's obviously based on elements of truth, particularly how she was viewed, you know, a woman, and particularly I've been reading about her life as a publisher and editor and things like that, and how she, you know, championed women writers and female artists, and so yeah. So yes, I have, and I saw Susan Wands give a talk in Watkins Books about The Magician and Fool. I wasn't there, but I watched it on YouTube. They've got their own YouTube channel, and she gave a talk about it. So yeah, I've got the book, and I really enjoy it. Did you want to answer Chris Kelly's question above? What was Chris Kelly's question? Will all of Tarathon be watchable from the Hermit's Cave page, or will be switching between channels for each hour? Yes, so if you're watching it live, you will need to go to each channel. So on the day, every channel will link the next channel. So it's kind of like leapfrog. I kick it off, so you go to the Hermit's Cave, and in mine, it will list the person who's coming next, okay? Which I think, from memory, I'm passing to Kasia from Tarot Map. Is that right? It's been Kelly Bear the last 2 years, but she's decided she wants to sit this year out and just enjoy it and be there, which is fine. You know, everybody gets that option of being part of it or not. There's never any pressure. Gosh, I took a lot of pictures. Yes, so I'll link to Kasia from Tarot Map. So all you do is you go to my description and click, and it will take you straight over to Kasia's live, or to her channel. And then Kasia will link Christine from Christine and Celeste, and Christine will link Becca, Talks in Tarot, and so on. So you just jump. You've got the itinerary as well. And on the day, in my intro, there will be everybody's channel listed. So if you're joining at, say, 6 p.m. UK time, and you're there for Maha's Treasure Box, you can see the itinerary, and you can then, you know, go to Maha's channel at 6 o'clock and watch live. So there's a full itinerary. You can jump in and out where you want, but quite a few of us channel hop from channel to channel as one ends, and each person will say, thank you for watching. Now, if you want to go to the next channel, so-and-so's taking over next. They will all be in one place afterwards. So once I've slept after the 24 hours, there will be a playlist on the Hermit's Cave, and you just go to Tarathon 2020, and they'll all be listed in order. So you can then watch them at your leisure, or watch them again if you miss bits or anything like that. So I hope that answers that question for you, Chris. Marina says, thank you, Simon, for sharing tips on edging the deck. I got Dreams of Gaia without gold edges, so I want to edge it myself. I have no idea which material to use. Yeah, and I do find that the gold Sharpies go on better if there is a base colour like black underneath, because when you use them, they don't show up that great on normal card edges, but they do when it's like on the black. And I love the effect. I did it on my first Deviant Moon. I was just about to show you that then. Look how that's the Shadowlands. Exactly the same as what I've just showed you for black and gold. And then I did one that I gave to Jen from Jen's Balance Tarot, which has the rose gold, which I also like. That was quite effective as well. Chris Kelly asked a question about Tarathon. Yes, I've answered that, haven't I? Okay. Tarathon itinerary. Thank you, Elle. I can't believe it's only... At 10 o'clock this morning, I was in the shower and I was thinking, wow, this time next week, Tarathon will be ending. So it's fast approaching. You're welcome, Chris. Simon, for us linking to the next channel, where do we put the link? In the live chat during or in description before the live starts? In the description before. But don't worry, because I put all instructions the day before. So on Saturday, mind you're not in the group, so I'll send it to you separately, the same as Tanji. I put a full, here's what we do, guys. So the day before Tarathon, I put in the last minute, here's what we need to do. So don't worry, just follow that the day before. Last year, there was a lot of channels that did not have the link. Well, I'll remind everybody again. But you've also make a copy, do a screenshot or something of the itinerary, and I will put everybody's channel links in mine anyway, so you've always got that as a backup. B-Jam says, been in the sun, managed an hour, slow, don't turn into a lobster. The nice thing is about when I catch the sun, I'm red for a day or maybe two, and then I do go to a nice tan colour. Is there a list of channels with the times somewhere? Yes. Are you not in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group? But I always just put a link as well. It's been out a week now, and lots of channels have posted it. So there's a full itinerary with times and everything. I can't believe May is almost over. I know, every month is flying by. We'll also have mods in the chats who can post links as well. Brilliant. Yes, thank you, Jen. So I'll be relying on my American friends to keep me going during the night. I have a journal and I try and write as much as well, but 24 hours of writing can be pretty hard and pretty taxing. But when I do the summary, I like to give a summary of the 24 hours activity. Thank you, Elle. Hi, Kristen. Simon, you need some lavender essential oil on that noggin of yours. It's not as bad, Donna. I was just saying, I'm appearing more red on camera than what I actually am. But Donna, you missed this. You need to get yourself some of these Marmite rice crackers. Only 3% fat. Really good, snacky kind of rice crackers. They're like Twiglets. They taste a little bit like Twiglets, but... make sure everyone is subbed to all the channels on Tarathon. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. If you're subbed to everybody, it's easier as well. I'm prepared, Simon. I'll be up. Brilliant. Brilliant. Holy shit. I had no idea they had rice crackers. You made my day. I know. So, and I've got a lager because it's a bank holiday, so why not? Right, today's subject. I've been on half an hour and I've not even talked about today's subject. So, backup decks. Lots of discussions over the last year about backup decks and why people have backup decks, what are the purpose of backup decks. And I have to preface it by just saying, I can't talk for anybody else as to why somebody chooses to buy 2 decks or multiple decks. It is purely down to the individual. I'm just here to talk about why I decide to buy backup decks and what my criteria, if that's the right way to term it, is for why I would buy a backup deck. Firstly, it has to be a deck that I love. So the Roots and Wings Oracle is my I was going to say my only, but it's not, because I've got a backup deck of Oracle of Echoes, because I love that deck and it's hard to get now. So Roots and Wings, which I pull from every time I do a QuaranStream, I'll pull for one today. There is a mini version of it. Hi, Brant. That is being sent to me. Jamie, the lovely Jamie's helped me out and managed to get one because they're not shipping to the UK currently. So, you know, that's a different version, but it's one I love. But there's all sorts of reasons why people might get a backup deck. The first one is in case of damage. When we think about it, a tarot card, I'm not talking about a deck, an actual tarot card is a piece of paper. It is a flimsy piece of paper. And, you know, we can get decks online, like a nice 1970s blushing fool, and we say, wow, this looks like it's hardly been used, it's in pristine conditions. Chances are it hasn't hardly been used. You know, somebody might have bought one out of curiosity and it's sat in a drawer for 50 years. That's not how I am with my decks. I use them and I shuffle, and I'm quite a heavy shuffler, and I have bent cards. I've bent cards. You've seen me drop them, you've seen them fly out in places, you know. I have lit candles around me. Cards can and do get damaged. Becca won't mind me saying, you know, she loves this deck, this deck that we're going to be reviewing on Saturday, which is the Shadowlands Tarot. She's damaged one, you know, it happens. And that's one of the reasons why I decide that if I really love a deck, I'll get two versions of it. Another is if we decide to modify decks, and if you've got questions, I can see people tagging me, and there's quite a few tags coming in. I'm going to pause the chat just for a minute so I can address them, but I just want to kind of say what they are because I'm very easily led down rabbit holes. If we modify decks, so an example being, which let me give this as an example. Oh, I've got Tarot Jenga about to happen. I think they're about to all go tumbling down. Yes, they are. Bear with. Oh, I knew it. Okay. So a couple, for example, I love the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Palin. I actually prefer to have the deck trimmed down. So it's the one with the multiple edges to match the backs. Schiffer, brilliant. They went to matte, which is because they had these super glossy sticky cards, but they had huge borders. And I actually prefer this now. I keep the bottom panel on because they use different colours for different suits and majors, etc. Black for majors, different colours for suits. So there's a major card, so it's black. But because I love it so much, and because, you know, decks go out of print, I also got a backup copy that hasn't been trimmed. It's perfect, you know. I still might trim it at one time. So if anything got damaged with this deck, then I know I've got a backup one that I can decide whether I'm going to trim again or just use it as is. Sometimes as well, I will get a backup deck because I want to modify a deck, but there could be that risk of when I'm modifying it that it doesn't work out exactly how I want it. Llewellyn sprung to mind. I ordered a copy of Llewellyn, a second copy of Llewellyn, because I was going to take it right back to just the naked images. Another example is like the Druid Craft. I love the Druid Craft Tarot. Absolutely adore it. But I've got two versions, both edged in this beautiful brown. I've got one that is trimmed on three sides, a bit like the, because these are huge cards. Even this size, they're bigger than a standard tarot. So I've got one that's edged on three sides, but the bottom tile is still there with I'm going to try and find the same card now, which I should have prepared, because it's going to be right at the bottom. Oh, why they're suddenly upside down? I don't do reversals, so I don't know how that's happened. Yeah, oh, there we go. And then I had a version, which is nice, chunky size, where it's just completely taken all sides off, because it's so RWS. I can read this tarot without having, a bit like Carol Hertzer decks, no titles, no numbers. So I've got two versions. But look how different they are in colour as well. You notice that? So sometimes you get different colorations. So it's great to have two versions. I actually prefer this because the skin tone and everything looks different to how it appears here. So two versions. So it's a backup. I am tempted to get a third version of this and not trim it at all. That's just me, because I like to have a perfect one. The major reason above all else, I've mentioned in case of damage, wear and tear, if I'm modifying, the major reason for me is if they go out of print. Now, I've been caught out so many times about decks where I think, should I, shouldn't I? Oh, I'll leave it in my wish list, or it'll be in my basket or whatever. Then all of a sudden, we get the notification, it's gone out of print. Japaridze, one of my favourite tarot decks, it went out of print. Luckily it's back, but we didn't know it was going to be back when it suddenly, without any notice at all, just went out of print. So then you kind of like, I need to be so careful with this deck because I haven't got a backup for it. Or I love this deck so much. Another case in point then I could mention here would be, as a great example, New Choice Tarot de Marseille. Favourite Marseille deck ever. Absolutely love it. One that I have in my little Kelly pouch, and then one that I have as a backup deck. It's now out of print. Only 500 made. Cardstock, nicest cardstock I've ever known in a tarot deck. Absolutely beautiful. And it's gone. And it's probably never going to come back. So I was really glad that I got 2 copies of this, because, and I didn't buy them both at the same time. I bought it, worked with it, thought, this is such a beautiful deck. If anything happened to this, oh, there's only 500. So I knew that that was a limited print run. I was able to get another one. And, you know, if anything happens to the first, of course, there's always a chance something might happen to your second deck. But, you know, that's the chance you take, isn't it? And, you know, I'm a collector of a lot of things. So DVDs, you know, I've got over 500 DVDs. I don't have any backup DVDs. Why? Because they don't tend to go out of print. You can get films and DVDs very easily. And now in the world of Netflix, Amazon Prime, you know, digital downloads, all that sort of thing, there's always a way that you can replace things like, you know, movies and your favorite TV shows. Once these go out of print, you know, and you try and get it, yes, they might come up on eBay, but mentioning no names, I seen a deck quite recently that was on there for over £1,000 for 78 pieces of paper. So, you know, that's another reason. The other reason is, you know, there might be an indie version and a mass-produced version, and they might be different. So I'm thinking of something like the Lightseers Tarot, which everybody loves. I can't afford, or couldn't afford, to get... the Knight of Cups would be on top, wouldn't he? I couldn't afford to get 2 versions of this. This is the indie version. The most amazing, again, thick amazing cardstock. Absolutely love it. I didn't get the one with the original Ten of Swords. That's the only kind of downside to it. But still, I was lucky enough to get this when they came back on. I wasn't aware of it as a Kickstarter campaign, but I loved it that much. I wanted a backup version, and then quite thankfully, it was picked up by Hay House, and there is a very inexpensive £12 mass market edition. It's not as great, the cardstock isn't as great by any stretch of the imagination, but as a backup, it was okay, you know, and instead of paying £89 or whatever it was for the indie, I could get one for 12. So that's another reason. The other things like Anna Kay, I didn't know you could still get the indie, so I'd got the mass-produced, terrible cardstock, and now, you know, I've got the indie version, which has a lot better cardstock. So that's another reason. Another reason why we might get backups is because there are different versions of it. So another favourite of mine is This Might Hurt. So my This Might Hurt tarot, which is this one. This was my first copy. Beautiful, beautiful cardstock. This one has the black metallic. You've got these flash of rainbow colours. Can you see there? Really, really lovely. And I wanted a backup, and there is a gold version, a gold gilded version like this, if you wanted to get that. I know Jen from Jen's Valence Tarot has got that version. Shane bought it for her as a Christmas present, I believe, or birthday present, one of the two, birthday or Christmas. And then they released what they called the pearlescent version, which has this lovely pearlescent edged edged version, which I also love. So it's nice to have different versions, but also you've then got a backup should anything happen to your favorite deck. Other things like Deviant Moon, there are borders and borderless. So again, you know, some people might think, well, actually, I love the Deviant Moon, and it does, you know, we've got something like, oh, that's the trimmed. I was going to show you, but it's in a drawer over there. But you know, it's nice to have, if you love a deck, and this is a collector's one anyway that's signed, which has got my tattoo on it. You know, to see it it's got different coloured backs. This is more brown rather than black, but to see it framed, you know, it's nice to have both editions. Wow, there's 121 people here. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all. So yeah, so different versions like bordered and borderless is another reason. You might want to modify them differently. So Pagan Otherworlds, actually, to be fair, I bought the Pagan Otherworlds myself before I had a channel, so there's never a walkthrough of it. And I did an interview with a lovely lady called Danielle Nicole. And as a thank you, she sent me the Pagan Otherworlds, not knowing that I had it. But she was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't realise you had it. I said, actually, you've done me a massive favour, because this is a deck, very expensive to get. It was before you could buy it in this country through Little Red Tarot. It used to, I think it came from Australia. Really expensive. And I did want a backup. So I got the one that's edged in the metallic blue, which brings out the blue of the back. And then I've also used my second backup to edge in gold. So I've got two versions of it. So it's the same deck. They're both the first edition with that amazing cardstock, but two kind of different modifications to it. One I keep in like a pouch, but the other one I keep on the shelf in a box. And I won't break the seal on them. They're both intact. I open from the underneath. What else? And then, you know, when you get like first edition, second edition, where there's some changes. So one of the tarot decks that I'm going to be ordering over the next week or so is the Star Tarot, the new Star Tarot. Because I have the first Star Tarot and I love it. But I remember thinking, oh, the borders are so big, so I trimmed it down. The cardstock is so glossy and sticky because it's a Schiffer deck, or red feather deck, part of Schiffer. So I trimmed it down. And of course now they're bringing out a new version that's matte, it's borderless. So I'm going to get it, but that could also be classed as a backup deck. Another one that has different kind of versions is like the Mary L. So the first Mary L I won't show you was Schiffer, glossy, sticky, and I trimmed it down. This is how they look with the borders and everything. This is the first edition. This is the gold edged edition. So, and I love it. And of course I won't trim that. So I've got one with borders, one that I trimmed myself because I love the Mary L. Didn't always, but it was a late bloomer. The lovely Debbie made me a beautiful box to keep it in. And then, of course, they brought out the matte borderless edition. This is the one with the black edges, which didn't last long because there was printing errors with it. So they've now done it, and I think it's got silver edges. So, of course, I wanted both versions. So that's another reason. Anybody who likes Deviant Moon will know that things like Trionfi della Luna come out in so many different iterations. So I've got, this is the English text, but I've also got the Italian text and the French text. And then I bought the Paradoxical and then the Paradoxical Rose. I didn't get the blue, I didn't get the purple or violet. But I love this deck so much. So of course, getting different variations of it also means that I've got backup decks, but they are different. My most recent backup is the Shadowlands. So this I've only had for 3-4 weeks. Absolutely love this deck. Love, love, love it. I've been working with it every single day. And then people were saying it's skyrocketed. I think Becca paid £45 for hers. I paid £28 from the same place, which was Book Depository. And so I was like, wow, they've really hiked the price up. And then people started saying, oh, my orders have been cancelled. They can't fulfill. And I'm thinking, this is going to go out of print. If not permanently, then certainly, you know, whatever print run is coming to an end because this is getting hard to get. And I saw it on Book Depository last weekend and it was £32. Bearing in mind a few days before, Becca had paid £45. So I thought, well, let's just see if I can get it. You know, they might cancel it like they had to. I think it was B-Jam who's here said, yeah, they've cancelled my order. I've had to order again. His arrived on the same day as mine. But I know I won't touch this. It's still got its band around the cards because it's there purely as a backup should anything happen to this. Because it's out on my desk. I use it day in, day out. I'm a heavy hand shuffler. So it's there should I need it. And then things like my ultimate favourite deck. Everybody knows my favourite deck is the Blushing Fool, the blue box. So I have a backup that's not a Blushing Fool, but exactly the same card stock. And then I have the yellow box Blushing Fool, which I also love. And then a backup of that, which is not a Blushing Fool, but same card stock. So, so they're just because they're old, you know, nearly 50 years old. And and I want them to last my lifetime. So they're not all my backups. You know, I've got lots of other backups, but I was just trying to give some examples of the differences between why people might have backup decks. For me, and I've heard talk in the community about fear-based living. It's not about living in fear. I don't fear that my house is going to burn down. I don't fear that I'm going to have water damage or floods. But I'm practical in as much as if I love something and it gives me pleasure, and you know, I know that I'm prone, you see me drop things all the time, you know, I'm prone to having accidents and things like that. I've spilled live on camera a mug of coffee that went everywhere. I do lots of things, and like I said, I've got candles and all sorts around me. I want to have a backup just in case something should happen to the decks that I absolutely love. And as I said, there's all different reasons for that, not just fire and flood, but things like modifying them and they might go wrong, or, you know, they're about to go out of print. I never buy decks to make a profit. I'm not interested in that. You know, I've never bought, you know, a deck that I hear is going to go out of print, so I'm going to buy it because then I can put it onto eBay and make hundreds of pounds. If people want to do that, good luck, and I'm not judging. That's completely up to you. But for me, I buy backups because the decks mean something to me, and I don't want to lose the original for whatever reason. If at some point in my journey with tarot I fall out of love, chances are if that happens, I kind of keep them on the shelf and bring them out and do a throwback Thursday or something and reconnect with them again. But if a deck's on there that I really sort of think, yeah, I just not feeling it anymore, maybe I will trade it or pass it on or sell it on eBay. But my intention is never to buy a backup deck because it's going out of print to make money. I don't really use eBay, and you know, but that's not me saying there's anything wrong with anybody else doing that. Anything else? Let's have a look at your questions. The chat has already started moving. I think it's got fed up of me. So it's chopped off the ones where I'd paused, so I've missed the questions, and it's carried on from 17:35 and it's moving up. It's like, I'm sick of this. It's like TV, pause it for so long, it carries on going again. That's what's happened with the chat. So, I see Shane's joined us. He's saying hello and people are saying hello to Shane. I so want to get Everyday Enchantment when the funds allow it. It's a wonderful deck, and Poppy Palin is a wonderful soul. She really is. I've got some of her books. She gifted me her out of print first tarot deck because I did a very kind review for her. Well, it was the Throwback Thursday. She was in that chat with us, which was really nice. Simon, have you ever done a walkthrough of Everyday Enchantment? I have, and I've done a Throwback Thursday of Everyday Enchantment, and that's the one where Poppy came in. I didn't invite her in. She just saw that I was doing it and said, do you mind me being here? If you do, I'll leave, which was lovely. And I said, no, you're welcome to stay. And she helped and gave comments, which was lovely. Been debating about getting a backup for Pagan Otherworlds. I trimmed and painted my Druid Craft and love it. Yeah, and that's the thing, is that we make those decks our own. But I just kind of like the idea of having an untouched version as well. Because I've always said that when I modify a deck, I kind of feel like I'm co-creating, I'm personalising it. But I also like to respect the creator and have their version. That said, I did address this with Patrick Valenza when I did my interview with him. And he said, as an artist, as a tarot deck creator, he has no issues at all with people modifying decks. He said, once they've left me and they're with you, it's yours to do with whatever you want to do with. And I can remember Marie White from Mary L as well commenting on my Instagram picture when I trimmed the deck. And she said, you've done a great job, you know, and she said that her intention was for it always to be a borderless deck. And she's got her way now, which is lovely. Bijam says, I don't currently have any backup decks. I can understand it though. Recently I thought about getting some backups for a few decks. It probably took me about a year and a half of collecting tarot decks before I got a backup deck as well, because there were so many I wanted. The thought of spending another £30–40 on a deck I'd already got was kind of like, oh, you know, but then, as I've said, I've modified decks and things that I've kind of not been happy with, so I've ended up buying again anyway. Gaian Tarot was one that springs to mind, and also the Osho Zen. I have completely trimmed Druidcraft and can't connect with but one. Oh, okay. So there's a swap there if anybody wants to. Sandra's also thinking about getting backup decks. Morning, Tamaya. Good to see you. It's nice to know there's a backup of your favourite. It makes you feel better about using the decks you love. Exactly. I'm going to have to catch up. So I'm just going to look for capitals or channel name, because I'm so far behind in the chat. Pays your money, takes your choice. Borders, no borders. Boiders. I'm running through my tarot deck list, my head wondering what might want backups of. But I still have such a long list of new decks. That's what I was saying, Jen. So you don't have backup decks either. But yeah, and again, you've been in the community just over a year, I think. And as I said, I think it was around 18 months before I got my first backup. See if there's any other comments. Definitely get a backup of the Everyday Witch. Well, I'm waiting for the mini to come out, and that will be my backup of that. But again, is it a backup because it's a different version? But I guess it is, because it's the same images and stuff. Paradoxical Blue. Naomi, what are you one of the 13 or the original Paradoxical Blue? When you said late bloomer, I was biting my tongue off not to say grower, not a shower. Billy. Oh, you minx. You jammy sod. Who's a jammy sod? Hi, Kay. It's taken about 3 years to decide to buy Tarot the Hidden Realm. Now I have it and love it so much I really want to get a spare. Yeah. See, I did have a spare because I'd got the flimsy one with a great box and book. And then in a trade for some Hobnob biscuits, I got a few decks, and one of them was the original Hidden Realm on the thick cardstock. So I put that in the one with the nice box and book, so I've got like a perfect deck. And then I gifted the other one. Wow, I've been on an hour. I've just heard the town hall bongs going. With real estate on your shelves so limited, do you store your backups in separate places? No, so far all of my tarot are fitting on these shelves so far. But I have got 25 cubbies. So, and all my oracle are down under my Buddhist shrine. I have 3 Carol Hertzer decks. That doesn't really count. I've got 2. I was contemplating the Crystal Fire, but I've seen them and I'm not sure I would connect. And I think I'm happy with the 2 I've got, which is the Illuminated and Starlight Illuminated. I don't see that as a backup. I see that as a light and shadow morning and evening type deck that complement each other because they are different enough. I do have sunburn. Everybody that's coming in is mentioning the sunburn. Melissa says, are there any decks you've never got a backup of that you've regretted getting a backup of? Hold on. Are there any decks you've never got a backup for that you've regretted getting a backup of? What? Are there any decks? Why am I not understanding this? Are there any decks you've never got a backup for that you've regretted getting a backup of? Or any decks you regret not having a backup for? I can answer the last bit, but First bit's not making sense to me. Are there any decks you've ever gotten a backup for that you've regretted getting? Oh, sorry, I'm reading it wrong. Are there any decks you've ever got a backup for that you've regretted getting a backup for? No. No, so every deck that I've got a backup for. That said, what did I trade once that I'd got a backup for? Actually, okay, the way I'll answer that is, I didn't regret getting it, but I've regretted letting it go, which is the Golden Rider. I'd got a backup of the Golden Rider, but I really wanted the Carol Hertzer deck. So I traded it because it was a backup. So I only have one copy of the Golden Rider. Sorry, I read your question wrong. So I regret letting it go. But, well, I do and I don't. I'd love a backup, but one will come round again, I'm sure. But at the time, it was worth it to get the Starlight Illuminated Tarot. You never regret getting a backup? No, because if I did, I would trade it because it's a backup. But I usually get them because I know I love the deck so much. I wouldn't just say, you know, Star Spinner is just coming out for us over here. I've ordered one copy. I would never just think I'll get two in case it goes out of print. I've got to know that I'm going to really like the deck. So I never buy two at once. I buy one, realise how much I love it, then get the backup deck. Thank you for the shout out on CC&C. Can I offer you a past life reading? There's no need. I mean, I'd love a past life reading, but seriously, there's no need to do anything. I shout out channels that I enjoy, and I really enjoy your channel, Jonathan, and it's very sweet of you to offer, but please don't feel that you have to do anything just because I've shouted out your channel, but I appreciate it. Are there any decks that you were tempted but haven't bought for ages, but when you did, you loved it? That's a really good question. One that I bought that took me ages to buy, but then really loved it once I'd got it. There's probably loads. Probably Llewellyn. It took me like 3 years to buy the Llewellyn. And I really love it, but I think I love it because I modified it. I did buy it again to have it untrimmed. But yeah, I think Llewellyn, I waited years to get it. And then once I got it, I was like, I'm really glad I've got this. It's lovely. It's beautiful. Poppy Palin has a channel and goes over some of the cards. It's wonderful. I love Poppy's channel. She does. She'll take a card and she'll describe why she painted what she painted. It's just lovely. And she's got a lovely voice. She's so calm and relaxing. The original Paradoxical Blue, says Naomi. Okay. Okay. Scrolling. And I'm at the bottom. So, there we are. I've been on over an hour. Yeah, so let me know. Do you have backup decks? What are the reasons you have backup decks for? Is it one of the reasons that I've mentioned in case of damage, wear and tear? Because you want to modify in case they go out of print? Or because you've got the indie version and the mass-produced version? Or whether it's just because there are different versions of it, like the Star Tarot, first edition, second edition, Mary L, first edition, second edition. Or is it because there's a bordered version and a borderless version like Centennial, Deviant Moon? Or is it just because it's a favourite deck of yours and therefore you just love it so much you want more than one? But thank you. Thank you for being here today. I've really enjoyed having a chat with you, talking about this subject. I hope you found it useful as well. Oh, I need to pull a card, don't I? Yeah, and any questions that you might have, pop them in the comments afterwards and I'll be happy to answer them. This was a super fun topic. Oh, thank you. And I realise it's quite a niche topic because not everybody has backup decks. So not everybody's, you know, it doesn't really apply to everybody. I just looked up at my iPad and like, that's freaky. There's an empty chair. Why am I not on screen? And I realised it was when I bent down to pick the card up. I worry myself sometimes. Someone's practicing drums in my neighbourhood. I love hearing everybody's different thoughts on it though. Yeah. I have no backups, but I'm thinking I should get some of my faves. It's the heat, Simon, don't worry about it. There's always some excuse with me. I'm either tired, it's the heat, it's been a long day, difficult day. All right, Jen. Thanks, B-Jam. I have backups of my soul decks. Yeah, well, my soul deck is the Blushing Fool, and I've got to have a backup of that. I would like, here I go, I would like a backup of Blushing Fool, but it would have to be at the right price because I'm not paying ridiculous money for it. I've got a backup blue box, and technically I've got a backup Blushing Fool, it's just the yellow box version, but I would like a backup Blushing Fool blue blocks. I've only had half. Okay, so card for the next 24 hours. What do we need to know? Earth Mother. How beautiful, Earth Mother. And this is a perfect card for today. Being as I've been outdoors for the first time in ages, I've really appreciated sitting outside, looking up at a beautiful, pure blue sky with not a single cloud, with no trails from planes or anything, listening to the birds, smelling fresh air. It's been really wonderful. This is called Earth Mother, and whenever I think of Mother Earth, Earth Mother, to me it's Gaia. I've got a Gaia on my altar, but I've got a Mother Earth here. I've got Gaia. She is somebody I revere, and she is our mother. And when you think about what Earth Mother embodies, and if you worship Gaia, it is somebody that is fertile. It's the caregiver. It's the true source of love. Earth Mother, our planet, gives us everything that we've got. It gives us life. We would be nothing without Earth Mother. And just like we have relationships with our own mother, hopefully, the majority of us have really good, healthy relationships. How do we revere our own mothers? We treat them with respect. We treat them with love. We look after them. And that's what we need to do with the ultimate mother, with the goddess that is Gaia, the life giver, the source of love. You know, and we've really abused her and we've really neglected her. And I think if we learn any lessons, and I've mentioned this before, but it is just to be more mindful as we walk about this garden that we've got, that's Earth, and let's just be more respectful and show more love, and that love will be reciprocated tenfold. So yeah, beautiful card, beautiful reminder on a beautiful day like today. So thank you once again for being here. Second to last week of QuaranStream before I go back to work. But I've really enjoyed having this time with you all over the last hour. I hope all of you have a fantastic day. If you're just starting your day, enjoy it. If you're in the UK, enjoy your evening and what's left of this holiday. And I will see you tomorrow, same time, 5 p.m. here in the Hermit's Cave. And look after yourselves. Go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.